Hello?
Hello?
Can you all hear me?
Yeah.
All right, perfect. Okay, so, all right, so we got Gabby and David on the line. They're actually coming from LA back to the Rio Grande Valley. And y'all are experienced, or you did experience it firsthand, right? The coronavirus and all the effects that's going on.
Yeah. So I was just saying like what's happened in the past week. You know, uh, for us, like shit got real when Tom Hanks and his wife got it, and like the NBA got suspended. Everything just started like falling like dominoes after that. Yeah, that was a big wake up call for the city. Yeah, and we are in the event business, so our work relies on large groups of people. So without large gatherings, there's no work. You're right. So like we both work primarily at WB Warner Brothers Studios, and I work at Price is Right. Let's make a deal. And we got emails from our bosses that were like, "Hey, there's going to be no work because the mayor announced that there can't be gatherings more than 50 people." Yeah. So that all started happening this week, like around Wednesday. It just started happening really slowly. It's like, hey, no work for next week. I'm like, oh, okay. But then it gradually got to no work for the end of the month.
Wow.
No work until further notice. And so, we started like panicking because, it's a weird feeling. And the weather in LA has just been nothing but gloomy and rainy. So we haven't seen the sun in like maybe a week. Yeah, it's been cold and wet, so people might be getting cold.
Hello? I think we might have lost him.
So, like, that did not help with the mindset of, like, okay, everything's okay. It just makes it look like kind of the end of the world.
Yeah, man, that's crazy. And you're talking about actual like big events, like over 250 that they canceled, or just canceled everything.
So at first it was like 250 because I also do like background work with the audience and stuff like that. So I went to an audience to see Family Feud, and like so it's like okay, that was fine. And then it got to 200 people or less, and then to like no more than 50 people. And last night, the mayor was like, all right, all bars, all wineries, everything canceled, like restaurants too. So everything got locked down last night. Yeah, this all happened last night.
And this is March 15th, last night, which was a Sunday.
Yeah. And so Gabby and I, we were debating, like, do we drive back? Do we drive back? And one of the things that we were like, well, we don't know. We haven't. We don't think we do. We've been pretty good at. The key is social distancing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So we were really good at like staying at our place the past 4 or 5 days. We went out to go obviously get food and groceries, and it was crazy because everywhere we went there was lines. Lines at the store. At the store, like out the door, cars, you couldn't get anything, and it's so funny because they said avoid large crowds. And all the large crowds in the grocery store. Exactly what was happening. Everyone's freaking out, and we've been putting on gloves where we're shopping. Yep. So you don't know. People are touching cans, products, and you just can't trust anyone. So like, what I've read is, that it can stay in the air for 3 hours, and then it can stay on certain surfaces for 3 hours, and then on plastic or something like that, it can stay on for like 2 or 3 days.
Wow.
So, the scary thing is that like people that were contracting it, they weren't giving us the specific locations of these places.
Hello?
You're kind of like, hello?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, so like the scary thing was that like, they were announcing like where these people were contracting like stuff or anything like that. So it's like we had no idea where we could go and stuff. And again, people don't even show the symptoms, and they can be contagious.
They can be carrying it, right? If you're wondering why the line keeps on going in and out, it's because they're driving back from LA to the RGV, and they're actually in their car making this phone call. So I guess the number one question, So I guess the number one question is, should people be panicking here in the Rio Grande Valley?
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry. Yeah.
So
Should we what?
I guess the number one question should be is should people be panicking here in the Rio Grande Valley, especially with food and all the precautionary stuff that they need to be taking?
So
I'm sorry, you're going out. We'll just wait for it to come back on.
to practice social distancing.
All right, you're gonna have to say that one more time because you went out a little bit.
So like the key is that in other countries they're not running out of food or anything. They're not going crazy. It's all about social distancing and washing your hands and being safe. The Valley is being really ignorant by not canceling SPI and not canceling the rodeo or the stock show. Like, they are being really, really, I think, naive and ignorant. Because I see a lot of people in my feed from the Valley being like, this hysteria, this stuff like that. They're going to quickly realize that when it gets there, it's going to spread like wildfire because a lot of people are being really stupid. And it's really disappointing that people in the Valley are not taking it as seriously as it is. Gabby and I are scared. That's why we're driving back, because we'd rather be with our family for how long, because our lease ends next month.
Right.
And so we were like, do we go back? Do we write it out here? We were like, well, there's no cases in the Valley yet, but I'd rather be with our family. I know she wants to be with her family too for at least 2 weeks to see what's going to happen. But people are going to get it. What they're trying to avoid is the spike of how high it's going to get. They're trying to make that spike very low to containment. And the key is lockdown and social distancing. If you don't have to leave the house, don't leave the house. If you can quarantine yourself and just stay inside, stay inside. But there should be no reason to wipe out all the stores and stuff like that. I can see why, because when there's so many different stories in the media and stuff, you have to find the right resources, the right sources, and not freak out. We're kind of freaked out just because this went from 0 to 100 in literally 3 fucking days. You know? Yeah.
In 3 days it went like that. Wow.
Yeah, it was oh, sorry, go ahead. It was normal, and Gabby and I are like, whoa, this is weird. And do we come back? Do we drive back? And then, LA lockdown and all this stuff. And Gabby was like, yesterday we were like, no, let's go back. Let's go back, because there's a lot of LA Texans that are trying to drive back too. We have our roommate. He's in Corpus right now, and he went down there because he hosts the St. Patrick's Day parade there in Corpus Christi. He was going to work South by, but it got canceled, right. And that Corpus event got canceled. So he's flying back today, and he's even talked about driving back. And I was like, I didn't know if they're going to allow him to fly back, or he's already there. I'm like, dude, you're already there. You need to stay there in Corpus and ride it out. But we are in a weird situation where our fucking renting people, whoever they are, they're still they only gave us an 8-day grace period to pay rent in April, so we have to be out of there by the end of April. And honestly, who knows how crazy it's going to get? It's going to be really difficult for us to do all this stuff and try to find a new place over there in LA. But I think people in the Valley need to take this really, really seriously, and not just it's funny to post memes and shit like that because you want to kind of laugh at it, right. But don't be ignorant and take it seriously, because what's happening over here in LA was really fucking scary. And the fact that LA school district is the second biggest school district in the United States that has over 500,000 kids. They're not going to have school for 2 or 3 weeks. That's 500,000 kids that are not going to go to school for kids. It's spreading so fast and it's so contagious that, again, people sometimes don't even show symptoms, or people don't have symptoms until 2 to 14 days. But even then, they can be past people that they don't even know.
Right. Yeah, I think the CDC has already deemed it a pandemic, and it's very interesting because I don't think we've ever gone through this in our adult lives where we're going through a pandemic. It's pretty interesting.
Oh no way. So also, what Italy is right now really bad. We are maybe a week behind them.
Wow.
So what happened in Italy was, they had a couple of cases, and then they have this big festival where it's really popular, where thousands of people go there and they throw tomatoes at each other and stuff like that.
Right.
And they had tried to tell them, like, hey, you guys should cancel all these social events and stuff like this. And one of the local governors or whatever this guy was, he was like, if we were to cancel this, then it might cause riots and stuff like that. Well, that's where they fucked up because they didn't cancel it. Look where they're at now. Yesterday they had the most, the highest spike of deaths ever, 300 deaths in one day. That's just scary.
Damn. Yeah, it's interesting because I have a buddy, Alex Garrido, who is the director of marketing and data analytics at UTRGV, and he's stuck in Spain and he can't get back, and they're on lockdown as well.
Right, they're on lockdown, and also me and Gabby were terrified because, what if we leave and they travel ban?
There's a domestic box.
Yeah, and
I don't know if it will happen, but
I think it's gonna get to that if it gets bad. So the best thing that the RGB can do is, because again, it's gonna get bad before it gets better, and we just have to accept that. We just have to play it smart, and social distancing is that's why it's trending. As especially in China, the reason why a lot of people are dying because men in their 60s, they smoke a lot. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people over 60 and people who have bad immune system were dying because they're smokers. Here in the U.S., we have a different problem. People are obese, diabetes and stuff like that. So their immune system's already fucked. And so people here, if they get it, it's going to be bad.
Wow. Yeah.
And in Italy, they have a lot of hospitals with beds and stuff like that. But now they're so overwhelmed that the U.S. we don't have as many per capita as what they have over there. So it's going to be bad because what's going to happen is, especially that the seasons are changing, people are going to have type allergies and stuff like that. So all these hospitals in big cities are going to be overcrowded with people thinking they have it. And it's just going to waste resources. And only yesterday, I read somewhere that they only have done 110 tests of coronavirus in LA. That's only 110. That's not going to do anything. They need to have these tests ready to go. And, I don't want to scare people, but we have to be realistic about this shit. And this is why I'm really disappointed in, some of the people that I've seen and here in the Valley with these fucking, I'm still going out. I'm still going to go to this thing, blah, 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 blah. And my mom's kind of like that. She's like, oh, we're all being okay. We're all, still going to restaurants and stuff like that. I'm like, that's cool. But if you don't have to, you shouldn't. 3 days ago, Gabby, actually 2 days ago, we saw videos, and I don't know if you saw this too, but the O'Hara Airport in Chicago, the DFW, in Dallas, and the airport in New York, they were crowded with thousands of people coming back from Europe because everybody's trying to get back because they were having the
before Europe, the travel ban.
But if you see those pictures, those people are shoulder to shoulder, and they were hundreds, and they were there for 5 to 6 hours because they couldn't go through customs. That was a petri dish of all these people who probably have corona, who may not have corona, but all those people might have it, and then now they're going to go back home. So, I'm hoping that a lot of those people that went to Dallas are not from the Valley, because if they have it, they're traveling down with it, and
they're just going to spread more.
People, it's just going to spread, and so Gabby and I, we've been really good. Again, we had to travel 2 days ago to go get food and stuff like that, and I'm telling you, dude, it's scary because when we went to these stores, nobody's really talking to anybody.
And all the conversations we hear have to deal with coronavirus.
Yeah,
no one is talking about anything else, and you hear parents talking to their kids, don't touch your face.
Right.
It feels like a movie, honestly.
It really does feel
like
end of the world type movie. And we were in line when I was in line and stuff like that. And people were coughing. I would walk away just because I'm I'm not even gonna fucking risk it. Or somebody sneezes or somebody coughs. It's funny because people look at that person oh shit.
Right.
And it is comical in a way, but Gabby and I've always been told I've been over dramatic, and I'd rather be over dramatic than not prepared at all.
Exactly.
And like, I'd rather like be over dramatic and be like, oh, dude, you fucking overdid it, bro. I'm like, oh yeah, I overdid it, but I was like overly safe about it, rather than being like someday like, nah, we're okay here in the valley. I'm still gonna go to the blah, 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 blah. Like, that's fucking stupid. Like, nobody should be going to big crowds. And I hate that the Valley is not taking it seriously.
I think the number one thing here is that we don't have enough tests. I believe there's some that are going on in Harlingen, but there's not remotely enough to be able to spread this out throughout the Rio Grande Valley.
Right. But the thing is, like, people can prevent it by staying home. Like, I don't know if you see that picture where... And so it's like...
I'm sorry, say that one more time about the picture.
So there's like a picture, a video of like matchsticks.
Oh yes, I did see that.
Yeah, they're burning. The one that's going down. That's literally how that's a picture. That's all you have to see. In order to stop it from spreading, stay at home. And if you have it or if you have symptoms, stay at home. Do not go out. Do not interact with people. And that's why they care about money. Like, it's sad that people, like, we still care about money. Like, my mom's like, well, how are you guys going to pay for rent? And I'm like, I'm not even thinking about that right now. I'm just thinking about our safety and the safety of others because, like, it's going to get figured out no matter what.
Right.
For Gabby and I, we might make a GoFundMe just for the two of us to, for our families that are in the Valley that haven't been affected yet to help us, like, pay for next month and maybe 2 months worth of rent just because, well, is going to be out for, even when if it cools down, there might not be events for a long fucking time because people are going to be really paranoid.
More film production too.
Yeah, exactly. I think within the next 2 weeks, we're going to get the grunt of all the stuff that's going to be happening here in the Rio Grande Valley. But David and Gabby, I appreciate your time. I appreciate your insights and letting us know what's really going on over there in LA. Y'all stay safe, and if there's anything else you all want to say it now.
Okay. Stay inside, practice social distancing. Again, we have to really, really, really think about our elderly people, especially in the Valley where people do not have health care and people, we're like the second most obese, talent in the United States. We need to fucking take care of our elderly and our sick people. And, like, if you have any symptoms or anything, stay at home. Do not go out. If you can avoid large crowds, do not go to them. Do not go to them. Gabby.
Yeah, just, be safe. Don't panic buy, please, because there are people who need, product stuff that won't be able to reach because someone decided to buy, like, 100 toilet paper rolls.
Yeah.
Right.
So just, be careful.
Be smart.
Be smart, yeah. Don't overbuy.
Yeah, and H-E-B's restocking every single day. We also got the dollar stores, which are restocking every other few days. And also hand sanitizer. I just created a video on how to make your own hand sanitizer with liquor and aloe vera. So I'll link it to the video here. But once again, guys, stay safe on your drive back home. And I appreciate your insights.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
thanks for talking to us. Take care.
I'll talk to you all soon.